Hi sweet friends, welcome back. Today we are continuing my fall decorating series here in the other half of our kitchen for part 2, decorating for fall. And if you missed my part 1, we already decorated the space behind me, which is our breakfast nook, and I really love how that turned out. So I'll go ahead and have that here at the end of today's video so you can continue watching and catch up. First up, I want to apologize for my raspy voice. I think I'm getting a cold cough thing, and that you still enjoy it and that you still find lots of decorating inspiration for fall. If you are new, hi, my name is Amy and welcome here. Here on my channel, I do love to bring you inside our home for these decorating series, and we are currently in my fall one. And so what I like to do is just decorate each space or area completely with you from start to finish, and then you can get some new ideas for decorating your homes. So if that sounds like something that you would enjoy watching, I would love if you would consider subscribing. And as always, for my returning friends, if you do enjoy the series and find this helpful in any way, I would love if you would give me a big thumbs up. As far as today goes, we will be decorating here on this side of the kitchen, so I'll be sharing many vignettes that I create across our countertops. I'll share a really simple centerpiece for your island or your table. I'll also be hanging some mini wreaths, and then I'll be sharing a fun DIY painting technique that you can use to make your really new sparkly copper pieces look antique and vintage. So if you're like me and love the antique look but don't really want to spend an arm and a leg for those pieces, this technique I think you'll really enjoy. So without further ado, friends, let's go ahead and get straight into the decorating. I hope you enjoy. Starting off today, I thought we would hang a couple of mini wreaths from the top cabinets, kind of to pull the color of our Loloi rugs that we have in this room upward, tying the room together. We have this one here, which is a longer runner style that is in front of our sink area, and then we have the smaller one that is in front of our patio door. To hang the wreaths, I'm going to go ahead and keep the little string that was already attached from last year, which is, yes, dental floss. You use what you have on hand and it worked perfectly. And so I'm going to use that along with the light clip and some command strips that I cut down to size. The cabinets that I'm adding these wreaths to are the small ones above our refrigerator first, and then I'll pop over to the smaller cabinets that are above our stove to pull those two areas together. Moving down to the countertops, on this side of the oven, I like to conceal the light switch and the plug, but I also like it to be accessible. So in order to do that, I found that placing a beautiful vase and floral arrangement works perfectly. So I'm coming in with this beautiful one from Kohl's that actually matches the one that I have over on the table. And again, I'm just trying to repeat and connect elements within the decor in the room. I'm also going to place these organic stems that have a beautiful burnt orange color, and that is just going to give a beautiful fall touch right here on the end of the counter. On this side of the oven and stovetop, I like to keep all my cooking essentials right at my fingertips. So in order to keep everything nice and grounded, I'm coming in first with this Lazy Susan that I believe came from Home Goods. Then for a utensil holder, I'm going to be adding this longer burger basket, which I know that you can find these sometimes at thrift stores, but this one specifically came from my mama, so it's super special. So I'm bringing it out, and I think baskets in general just cozy up a space, add texture, and give me all the fall feels. Inside it, I'm going to place all of my wooden utensils, and then I'll add in my salt and pepper shakers. These ones came from Hobby Lobby. I love the copper hammer finish. And then I'm adding this beautiful burnt orange oak leaf plate that I found from Hobby Lobby this year as my spoon rest.
And as you can see, not only will it serve a purpose, but it also complements the floral beautifully, causing your eye to move downward throughout this vignette. Next, to soften the hard surfaces that are in the kitchen, I like to bring in seasonal tea towels. I like to first hang it on the front of the oven and then also to the front of our dishwasher. These tea towels are actually from last year. They're in great shape. I got them from TJ Maxx or Home Goods, and I still really love them. I love the sketched pumpkin on them, and they also have a dark green emerald leaf that will tie in to my next piece that's going on the stovetop, which is this gorgeous tea kettle that I picked up from the Hearth and Hand line at Target. Moving back over to the countertops, for this side of the stovetop, we always have this lamp here in the corner. I absolutely love it. It adds so much character and ambient light and is perfect for the evening time. But to ground this whole arrangement, I'm coming in with yet another marble tray. It kind of separates the base of the lamp from our dark countertops. Plus, it keeps everything nice and organized looking. Then I'm going to add in my oil and vinegar set that came from Hearth and Hand, and then this new piece, which is an amber glass pumpkin-shaped butter dish. Again, that amber glass ties back to the opposite side, creating a lot of color repetition. Now that this side of the kitchen is pretty much finished, I can share the DIY age painting technique that I used on my newer copper pieces to make them look more antique. In part one, I added this copper pitcher to the table centerpiece. It always has bothered me because it was super shiny and all of its etched detail was kind of lost in its shiny finish. So to give it a more antique vintage look, I took some Waverly chalk paint in the color truffle and painted the entire surface with a brush, working in sections around the piece. Immediately, I would take a dry paper towel and wipe most of the chalk paint off, leaving it just in that edge detail. I noticed that it was still pretty shiny, so what I did was put a little bit more chalk paint on the surface. Then I would take a wet paper towel and go in circular motions, removing most of that paint again, and then I would blot it on top, creating a more textured appearance, much like what you would see in a real antique copper piece. I also repeated the exact same technique on this copper colander to get a more aged antique finish, and I'm super happy with how it turned out. Now it's time to see how it's going to look displayed on the decor rail that I installed on the underside of the upper cabinets. All this is a towel bar that I flipped upside down and installed it to the cabinet. I added these S hooks that came as a set off of Amazon, and I love to display and redecorate it each season, always keeping in mind to try to cover up that outlet that we never use. So first things first, I'm excited to add my newly painted antique-inspired copper colander. And then over that outlet, I'm going to hang this basket, which I found at Goodwill. Next, to style the basket, I'm going to add just a little bit of softness and texture by adding these cream paper florals that I also used over on the coffee bar, and that way they relate back to one another, uniting the two spaces. On this side of the basket, I'm going to add in a couple more of my antique finds, this cute little copper and brass piece, along with this antique hand mixer. Since I have added all these copper and metal pieces, this area is screaming for some softness. So I thought to relate back to our kitchen table, I would grab another of those same napkins and fold it like this, tie it in a knot, and display it on this side of the basket. Again, this is repeating elements within the decor space, as well as creating a soft, cozy, yet functional space. Just beneath the rail and adjacent to our sink, I like to keep a fruit bowl. I found this large wooden 3-footed one at TJ Maxx, and since I don't have any fresh produce currently, I need to go to the grocery store. Until then, I'm going to grab a pack of these 6 faux artichokes that came from Amazon. I love the green color, they dress up the wooden bowl, and they also relate back to the really gorgeous tea kettle on the stovetop. An easy way to update your kitchen for fall is to change out your hand soap. I'm going with this Autumn Forage hand soap that was from Hobby Lobby. I love the packaging, the brown and the wood top. I think it looks very high end, but it is at Hobby Lobby prices. Now for the vignette that is right next to the sink, I'm going to cover up the outlet but not the switch. We use that. That's our disposal. And so I'm going to layer on some cutting boards. That pumpkin one came from TJ Maxx. It's just got a gold little stem. And then I'm bringing back just 2 of the copper canisters that are from Amazon. Last but not least, this final countertop vignette is going to be grounded by yet another large cutting board. This one specifically is from Hobby Lobby and it's currently in their fall shop. Layering behind it, I'm going to angle another cutting board downward so it doesn't roll around, and then I'm coming in with this beautiful sketched pumpkin print that is going to cover up the outlet and that old cable TV junction box. To the left side, I'm going to add a grouping of 2 pictures. The first one is from Hobby Lobby, and then I'm actually going to come in with a plate. This one has the wheat on it, and if you remember, I decorated with that over on our coffee bar. Now, the second picture is from Kohl's. I just love it, and it's actually going to replace the pitcher that I had here before that we refilled the water in our dog bowls. So I'm going to set that on top, and so it won't damage the wood cutting board if there's any water that drips down over top. To that white pitcher, I'm adding some really beautiful fall foliage. This is one of my favorites from Hobby Lobby. I love the muted colors and I love how it drapes and cascades right in front of the pitcher and in front of the artwork. To the opposite side, I want to add a little bit of height and another copper piece, which is this really pretty pale piece that I got from Decor Steals. Now this is an online site that has lots of unique pieces, so you may want to check that site out. And then beneath it, I'm coming in with this pumpkin marshmallow candle. It's one that I had last year from TJ Maxx, but I never hardly burn all of my candles, so I'm just going to reuse this one and just set it on top of its copper lid. And then finally, I promise, one more thing, I'm going to add on this opposite side an adorable rolling pin that I found at TJ Maxx last year. It has all of these acorns and oak leaves that when you press it out on your dough, it would leave the imprint. And I just wanted to display this somewhere here in the kitchen for fall. And I thought this corner was just the perfect place to set it. Now that the countertops are all decorated, I wanted to share another super simple centerpiece for a kitchen island, dining, or kitchen table for fall. First, I'm coming in with this lantern, fairy lights, and some greenery. Since the lantern has that maple leaf cutout, I want to emphasize that by putting some lights inside. I'm taking these LED fairy lights that are 50 on a string from Walmart, and they are battery operated. They take 3 AA batteries, so I'm going to put that in there, place that inside, and let the lights unravel loosely, making sure that I have a little space to then put the stem of the greenery. This specific greenery has the leaves that looks like it is beginning to change in the fall, and so I'm going to let that cascade over the side of the lantern and then organically lay on the countertop. Next, I'm coming in with this really gorgeous seagrass vessel from Hobby Lobby that is a high-end dupe for the McGee & Co. vessel. I love its shape and the small handled detail along with all of its texture. Inside, I'm going to place the cream paper flowers that I've scattered throughout the room. First on the coffee bar, second on the under cabinet decorative rail, and now for the kitchen island. Finally, to complete the centerpiece, I'm nestling in this copper pumpkin. Alright, well let's take a look at the kitchen now that it is all complete and decorated for fall 2024. If you're needing even more inspiration for your kitchens for fall decorating, I'll go ahead and link last year's kitchen decorate with me for fall as well.
All right, sweet friends, that pretty much wraps up today's decorating here in our kitchen with part 2. I hope that you enjoyed it, maybe got some new ideas for decorating your homes this fall. Now, before we go, I would like to share with you a daily Bible verse. Today, I'll be sharing Galatians chapter 6, verses 2 through 5. Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. If anyone thinks he is something, when he is nothing, he deceives himself. Each one should test his own actions. Then he can take pride in himself without comparing himself to somebody else. For each one should carry their own load. All right, sweet friends. Well, I do thank you so much for joining me today. And I do ask for some prayers. Today we have to make the decision to put down our sweet Moko. So if you could just keep us in your prayers, and we know that this is best for her. She is failing and she's in pain, but you all probably know how hard and difficult this is. She's part of our family, and so it is a hard decision. But with that, I hope you all have a fabulous rest of your day. I'm sorry for breaking down, but I know you all understand. And I will see you real soon in my next one. Take care and God bless, friends. Bye.